Fellow Jews, we need to talk. And heads up, this will be necessarily uncomfortable for us both. The discourse on Zionism and the escalation between Israel and Palestine has completely devolved into identity politics and vitriol. Now, I'm not trying to center Jews per se, but the reality is when Jews come together and stand up for the rights of others, the world takes notice. So where we stand on this issue is very important. And we seem to be standing on two very opposite sides of the spectrum. Now, I'm worried that this situation is going to devolve further in the coming weeks and months, involving surrounding nations, potentially starting a much larger war. So at this juncture, I am urgently reaching out to my Zionist friends, family, and followers, and I hope you listen with your heart open. Now, I'm aware that many self-identifying Zionists believe that Jewishness and Zionism are one and the same. And I agree with you to the extent that this is the common perception. I'm also aware that many self-identifying Zionists define Zionism as self-determination for a Jewish homeland. And often the definition stops there. For me, this definition necessarily expands to at the expense of Palestinian citizens. And this is where I draw a very hard line, because to accept the former without the latter requires a large amount of dissonance. Now, you may be thinking, I'm an American Jew. What's it got to do with me? Why is it important that we consider our position on Zionism? In the world's eye, Israel is a Jewish state because it's declared itself as such. And we know with a great deal of recorded evidence that the Israeli government has been oppressing Palestinians all this time. And here's the important part. While hiding behind the shield of Judaism and the Shoah, using it as both its defense and its sword. This is so incredibly infuriating and offensive. But do you know what I find more infuriating and offensive? Genocide, murder, pain, suffering, no matter who does it, no matter who receives it. We should at least agree on that. Israel, the country which claims to be of and for the Jewish people, is by the numbers inflicting more harm, more death, more destruction onto the Palestinian people than Hamas ever did to Israel. Hamas is a terrorist organization, yes, and the Israeli government is an oppressive totalitarian regime holding far more power over money, resources, and narrative. If you're an American Jew, it's relevant that our military and our president is providing millions in funding to Israel so it can bring more might, fury, and more slaughter to innocent Palestinians. They aren't targeting Hamas, despite having the intelligence and resources to do so. They are leveling cities and bombing civilians indiscriminately. Now, if you disagree, I would be open to seeing any evidence you have of measured, precise attacks.